On behalf of the University of Strathclyde, I'd like to welcome you to the Barony Hall for this congregation for the conferment of degrees. This is a day of celebration for you, our graduates, and for your families and friends, and indeed for the staff of the university. We extend a particular welcome during our graduation ceremonies to our students who've taken distant learning courses or studied at our overseas hubs. Some of you may be visiting the campus for the first time, and we're delighted to have you here today. These events are sometimes known as commencement ceremonies, as a signal that they mark a beginning rather than the end, and it's in that spirit that we celebrate graduations at Strathclyde. In a few moments, it will be my privilege to cap each graduand. The capping ceremony has ancient roots as a public rite of passage and is a mark of achievement. For each of our graduands, it's a sign they are part of a proud tradition of world-changing scholars at Strathclyde, stretching all the way back to the Scottish Enlightenment. I hope you enjoy the ceremony. I now declare this congregation open and invite Professor David Hillier to introduce our students.
My Lord and Chancellor, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Master in International Business with Modern Languages, Kirsten Iona Alexander McGarry. Gloria Brazzoni. Elliot Marie Benoit Carruthers. Nathaniel David Clark. Molly Corcoran. David Francis Cotter. Antoine Bernard Couturier. Amy Margaret Frater. Mary Rose Gallagher. Tess Christina Gordon. Julia Joanna Kiss. Ksenia Vladislavovich Lubinets. Rona MacDonald. Claire Roisin McGee. Vary McKenna. Malcolm John MacLeod. Stephen McSeveny. Catherine Mann. Poppy Morrison. Julia Milikangas. Danielle O'Hara. Oisin Purcher. Neil John Ledingham Rachman. Emilia Rizzi. Dominique Lena Santini. Lindsay Helen Smith. Emma Ann Stirrett. Angels Vidal Clement. Mark Wright. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Business Analysis and Technology, Claire Rose McCloy. Catherine Quinn. Emma Siobhan Roberts. Elizabeth Janet Scott. In Business Analysis and Technology and Marketing, Marilyn Emmanuelopoulos. In Business Enterprise, Yanis Mikhail Andriadakis. Rowan Cowan. Robert Davidson. Emily Ann Elizabeth Dobson. Zoe Elizabeth Forrest. Ruth Brenda McLaren. Petri Sandra Ringberg. Benjamin Grant Schofield. Caitlin Rose White. Colin Douglas Campbell. Dean Clemenson. Ewan Gill. Darren David McKillop. Nicholas Querns. Elena Ravitsa. Connor Smith. Jack Thompson. Scott Walker. Liam Wilson. In Business Enterprise and Finance, Matt Carter. Ross Mackay. Jacqueline Fayakanko. Ratawit Saingrat Samifuwasin. In Business Enterprise and Hospitality and Tourism Management, Heather Fletcher. In Business Enterprise and Management, Catherine Flora Beaton. Jennifer McGilvray. Varun Gupta. Chloe Swardy. In Business Enterprise and Marketing, Dylan Bowen. Emma Louise Johnston. Greg Reid. Abigail Ellie Wilson. Jade Ide. Cherin Oruk. Zara Rachel Villas. Lewis Georgia Smith. In International Business with Business Analysis and Technology, Matthew Steele. Hannah Mary Ann Weems. In International Business with Business Enterprise, Felicia Delijos. Luke David Hillen. Diana Krasnicki. Molly Elizabeth McElwain. Kirsten O'Hara. Toby Wallace. Angus Keith Gange Adams. Amy Bowden. David Delgado Sáenz de Ormejana. Martin Friel. Neil McGinley. Christy MacLeod. Eleni Zanatos. In International Business with Economics, Abby McGowan. Laura Smith. Michael Watson. Daniel Shornock. Beth Katie Donoghue. Niamh Christina Fitzpatrick. In International Business with Finance, Christy Patricia Margaret Beer. Sam John Ronald Brown. Jamie Cook. Sarah Elizabeth Cooper. Ruth Ann Fletcher. Gavin James Kerr. Robin Moore. Carlos Morilas Asensi. Sean Revel. Alejandra Santos Vicente. Vladislav Vaskisen. Alexander William Graham Anderson. Ewan Douglas Anderson. Hannah Keys Campbell. Amy Hunter. Heather Kidd. Stephen Law. Craig Fraser McGraw. Ella Mackay. Sally Pringle. Ross Thompson. In international business with hospitality and tourism management, Katie Devnani. Pamela Jenny Kirk. Erin Maureen Robinson. Stephanie Barnwell. Man Yi Wong. In international business with human resource management, Louise Frances Broadley. Shannon Elizabeth Haggerty. Emma Harkins. Emma Gillian Irvin. Ellen Jean Seed. Lisa Main. Monica Sophie Pearson. In international business with management, Paula Izquierdo Hasenflug. Sophie McLeish. Kenneth Watson. Cameron Scott Donegan. Nicole Hanna. Eliza Barbara Marianne Ruiz. Jack Shearer. In international business with marketing, Sana Ahmad. Jano Paz Alaro Anderson. Hannah Elizabeth Booth. Adam Campbell. Sophie Elizabeth Kavanagh. Eleanor Rose Chambers. Hannah Chesney. Erin Kate Evans. Scott Fife. Rachel May Henderson. Jessica Hughes. Kate Elizabeth Langford. Lisa Williamson McCranner. Alex McGurk. Cara Louise Puller. Lois Shmigowski. Nurveer Kaur Gaturi. Brogan McFadden. In international business with modern languages, Simona Marchetti. Laura Jane Robbie. In management and business enterprise, Amy McLaughlin. In marketing and business enterprise, Mana Reid.
Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, but most of all, graduates, as we can now call you. It's a real pleasure to welcome you here to the Barony Hall, one of the jewels in Strathclyde's crown. I'd like to begin my address today by congratulating you, our graduates, once again in your academic achievements. Your hard work has paid off, and it's been recognised in front of your families, your friends and supporters, and indeed by the academic staff here. We know just how much work you've put in to be here today, and you can all feel justifiably proud. All of you have displayed determination, dedication, self-discipline and effort, and all of you have taken a huge step toward realising your dreams. And today, in these magnificent surroundings, we celebrate your achievements. Well done. In just a few minutes' time, you will be asked to join the academic procession as it makes its way down the aisle. This invitation symbolises the fact that you're no longer students, you're full members of the academic community of Strathclyde. And it's an important moment for you all. The class of 2019 is graduating at a time of considerable global change in Scotland, in the UK, and internationally. There's no question that challenges lie ahead for all of us. But as a member of the Strathclyde family, you belong to a large and ever-growing worldwide community which has shared ethos of tolerance and understanding and desire to make a positive difference. Whatever dreams you're pursuing in life, remember you possess the most valuable assets anyone can have in today's world: knowledge and the ability to innovate and the capacity to use your talents for the good of society. As graduates of a socially progressive university, you have a competitive advantage, having been equipped with the skills, know-how and life experiences to positively influence and shape the world around you. You know, in Scotland, we are fortunate in having a higher education system that's the envy of the world. Our country rightly invests in education for all. Education broadens the mind. It creates opportunities for individuals and for societies. And as Strathclyders, we carry a sense of duty to use what we've learned wisely and for the good of others. And that desire to make a positive impact in the world comes naturally to graduates of this university. We only have to look to the achievements of those who've gone before for inspiration. To John Anderson, our founder, who established this university for the good of mankind. To the missionary and explorer, David Livingstone. To John Logie Baird and Lord Reith, whose work in television brought us visual marvels that they could hardly have dreamt of. And in the present day, we look to Dame Eilish Angiolini, pioneer in Scottish justice as the country's first female Solicitor General and later its first female Lord Advocate. To Baroness Helen Liddell, former Secretary of State for Scotland and UK High Commissioner to Australia. To Baroness Annabel Goldie, former MSP and leader of the Conservatives. And to Sir Tom Hunter, philanthropist and one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Scottish history. Now, I'm sure you've received lots of advice on how to make the best of your lives. Some of it you will rightly ignore. Some might stick with you, but you know, most of all, you're going to have to learn it for yourself. To reach this point in your lives today, each of you will have travelled a different journey. For some, the path will have been relatively easy. For others, much more difficult. But I'm certain of one thing. None of you would be here without the active support of your family, supporters and friends. They've picked you up when you've been down, they've encouraged you when you needed it, and they're here to support you once again today, proudly watching as you cross the stage with broad smiles and I notice the odd tear in an eye. They're celebrating today with pride because you carry with you their hopes and dreams, their confidence that you can make this a better world. For the past half hour or so, their applause has rung in your ears. I'd like to invite our graduates now to show their appreciation for the support of their family, supporters and friends. We will actively keep in touch with you through our alumni and communication teams. And I would ask you too to please keep in touch with us. We would love to hear about your achievements as you progress through your lives and careers, and we look forward to hearing from you again. The advice and guidance given by our alumni help to provide the first-class education and student experience you had at Strathclyde, and I now ask you to think of those who are going to follow in your footsteps. I touched earlier on some of the key figures who have helped create the University of Strathclyde. You can tell a lot about the values of an organisation by looking at its roots. Strathclyde traces its lineage back to 1796 when Anderson brought it into being. It was the only Scottish university founded in the Enlightenment and embodying Enlightenment principles of reason, tolerance and equality. Anderson believed in useful learning, and his commitment to taking knowledge and using it for the greater good is the motivating force which gives Strathclyde its momentum today. In many ways, he was ahead of his time, as he advocated in the 18th century the education of both men and women of all classes. Today, This vision is as important as ever, and as a socially progressive university, we want our students' talents to be developed to the highest level and the talent pool to be as wide as it can be. We now have targets for recruiting students from disadvantaged areas where historically few people have stayed in education after leaving school. We've met and indeed exceeded these targets, enhancing our diverse and vibrant student community. We've many initiatives aimed at ensuring that ability and willingness to learn, and that and not personal circumstances will determine access to university. We are and always will be an international university. Our staff and student community is drawn from more than 100 nations, and we have alumni and partners on every continent. That ensures our outlook, knowledge and experience are broad. It's exactly the shape a successful university should be. We're in a place of innovation, seeking breakthroughs which will address the most urgent challenges facing the world today. New and effective medicines, purposeful approaches to tackling climate change, new technologies to meet the imperatives of a rapidly changing world, manufactured techniques for in-demand products, informing policy that addresses public needs and makes for thriving, just societies, and offering insights into complex political, economic and social issues. All of this, our groundbreaking research, our first-class teaching, our productive relationships with our external partners, goes into the experience we offer students. As a result, we've produced over the years many highly qualified, high-caliber graduates. Many more are joining them here today, and some have already taken their place in their chosen professions. We continue to strive to enhance the student experience investing in our campus, creating facilities like the recently opened Strathclyde Sport Building to support the fitness, health and well-being of our staff, students and wider community. And we had the great pleasure of welcoming another inspirational figure, Olympic rowing gold medalist Dame Catherine Granger, to carry out the official opening. Now, many of you will also have helped us to shape the plans for our under-construction learning and teaching hub at the very heart of our campus through your feedback and ideas. This building will be the new base for our Students' Association and will have all the facilities our students need to get the very best from their time at Strathclyde. Thank you for helping create this important legacy. And so too has it been a year to celebrate for the business school. A study by Dr. Samuel Mwara led to a report commissioned by the Federation of Small Businesses, which showed that 1 in 10 smaller businesses are led by an immigrant entrepreneur, and that these firms alone contribute more than £13 million to the Scottish economy. The business school has launched a financial technology entrepreneurship programme in association with Strathclyde Entrepreneurial Network. The programme encourages the development of early-stage, innovation-driven fintech businesses by providing money, in-kind support, masterclasses, and a dedicated mentor. A study led by Dr. Itamar Megiddo in the Department of Management Science into the value of having an effective antibiotic to mitigate pandemic influenza found that they would be beneficial to withhold widespread use of some new antibiotics until the outbreak of a major pandemic, as it could confer greater value in terms of lives saved, hospitalizations averted, and stress in the economy. A study by the Fraser of Allender Institute found that the reduction in drink driving limit in Scotland had actually had little effect on the level of deaths and accidents on the nation's road. Now, the findings do not suggest that the previous limit reductions had been ineffective, only that the most recent reduction had not had a material impact on road safety. The business school programme Breaking Down Barriers won the Youth Employment Award, the Herald Diversity Awards. The innovative partnership between Enable Scotland and SBS and Scottish Power means young people with learning difficulties can achieve an accredited qualification and gain real work experience. That is why our graduates are so highly prized by employers looking to recruit the best talent to drive their organisations forward. That is why world-class companies are investing in Strathclyde. That is why we are leading research in energy, health, manufacturing, technology, business and policy, and are providing new recruits to many professions, including healthcare, engineering, business, teaching and law. Our success is in no small part due to the collective talent, effort and commitment of our staff. the 3,900 colleagues who are pulling together to deliver one vision, a leading international technological university. Like me, they are very proud of your achievements. I know that the class of 2019 will demonstrate the power of useful learning. I know you will make your dreams a reality, and I know you will make a difference to the world in which we all live. Thank you. I now declare closed this congregation for the conferment of degrees. I would like to invite our graduates to join the academic procession. Please would family and friends stay behind until the procession has left the building, and then on this beautiful day outside, join us in the garden of the Lord Todd for refreshments. Please be upstanding.